Are you distracted by Satan's devices? So you can understand the enemy. He's using a lot of devices nowadays. He's using a lot of different tools to try and get your mind off of God. We are in the final hours, the final days before Christ returns, before he cracks the sky open. Christ is sitting at the door knocking, waiting for anybody who just open the door and accept him. Christ is giving a lot of us time to get right with him before he comes back. Because if Christ comes back now, there's going to be a lot of people that's not ready. And Bible prophecies is getting ready to finish up, because a lot of prophecies have been fulfilled. So since Satan knows that Christ is away at the door and he's getting ready to come back, Satan is trying to use as many distractions as he can against you. Satan, he'll try to have your mind focus on stuff that don't even have no meaningful use. The enemy, you gotta understand, the enemy, he's very cunning. The enemy, he knows how to try and get a lot of people. He knows how to distract a lot of people. It doesn't take much for Satan to distract a lot of people, because a lot of people, they're easily influenced. They're easily influenced by the pleasures of this world. They're easily influenced by the desires of the flesh. A lot of people, they just have a me mentality. They don't care about what God got to say. They don't care about God having rulership over their lives. Their mentality is, I'm going to do what I want to do. And their mentality is, I'm going to say whatever I want to say. And nobody can do nothing about it. And that's why the enemy is able to use pride. Because a lot of people have pride in their hearts. And a lot of people, they don't care about God. They don't care about God. They don't care about his word. A lot of people, they're just easily distracted by meaningless things. And I'll give you some examples how Satan will try to distract people. Number one, celebrities. See, this is a big one right here. All it takes is for Satan to use one celebrity to try and get millions of people distracted. I'll give you an example. A couple years ago, you had a celebrity. He got on stage. He slapped another celebrity over saying something about his wife. And guess what? The whole world was talking about it. And what was something that could have just been between those men turned into a big drama for the next couple weeks, even for months. The whole world was talking about it. Now, just imagine if Christ was to return back then. For y'all who've seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not going to re-mention their names, but you know which celebrities I'm talking about. And what if Christ will return right then and there? So many people have been distracted by this event that it would not even been funny. You got people to where they put their whole life and stock into celebrities. Like, I've seen people to where I've heard people myself to where they're over here calling celebrities their best friends, their homegirl, their homeboy. And my thing is, these celebrities don't even know you. You wake up in the morning, you gotta wake up, go work at 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock a.m. While a lot of these celebrities, they're entrepreneurs, they work for themselves. Especially a lot of these rappers, all they have to do is just go in the studio, record one song, and that's it. They're good for a day. Well, you gotta go to a job, work for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. A lot of y'all gotta do overtime just to make ends meet, and yet you over worrying about celebrities who are already rich and famous. Now, you ask me, where is this getting you in life? Is this really bringing you anywhere? I'll give you another example. If a celebrity says they support one cause, the whole world will come out and say it's supported. Let's say a celebrity says they support, they would support gang members. They support some of these rappers, And guess what? That could cause millions of people to fall behind that celebrity. Because a lot of people, they look at celebrities as idols. Whatever their favorite celebrity says or does, they go with it. If their favorite celebrity tells them to stop believing in God, a lot of people will follow them. If their favorite celebrity says it's okay to live in sin, a lot of people will follow them. A lot of people, they're sheep in this world. They're sheep. They just go by what everybody else is going by. They just go by what's hot, what's trending. That's all what people care about is what's trending. I'll give you another example of how people are distracted by this world. Social media. Social media has its goods and bads because, you got a lot of good stuff in social media. You got a lot of Christian influencers, With social media, it's easy to connect with different people from parts of the world for good reasons, such as the kingdom of God. But then you got people who use social media for nonsense. Look at social media, you got videos of people fighting. Look at social media, you got videos of people shooting each other, robbing each other. And yet some people are laughing in the comment section. Some people are taking pride in it. Some people find it funny. And there's people struggling. And the whole world knows in social media. Some people find some of these pranks funny online. Where these guys who do these pranksters, they just go up to random people and they just bother them for no reason. The people, they're minding their own business. They're not bothering nobody. And yet you got some little childish prankster just come up with their camera and they try to do these silly little pranks. Now, you help me understand me. Help me understand, where is that getting you? You're doing these pranks. You're putting your own life in danger just for some views, just for some clicks. Now, you help me understand. Is that really worth in the end? God forbid you was to get hurt or seriously lose your life. Will it really help you in the? Is it really worth in the end? The enemy, he just really knows to catch a lot of people. Whether it's celebrities, using drugs, alcohol. That's another thing that Satan like to use, these drugs and alcohol. So, allow these people to set up these liquor stores, set up these drug stores, selling these weed, these cigarettes. The enemy, he allows a lot of these clubs to be held. And guess what? All it is a distraction, to distract you from God and to try and get you to live in sin, to try and get you to rebel against God even more. And when you tell a lot of people this stuff, they're not willing to hear it, because a lot of people, they have reprobate minds. Their mind is not on God. Their mind is not on eternity. Their mind is just on the flesh of this world. That's how a lot of people are focused on this world. They're not focused on nothing else. And you see, since a lot of people love this world so much, it's going to end up costing them in the end. Because they're not sold out for a kingdom of heaven. They sold out for the enemy's kingdom. Your lifestyle your lifestyle shows where your heart is at. Whether your heart is with God or is it with the enemy. You can't have it either or. It has to be either one. Either you're for God or you're against God. Either you're with God or you're with the enemy. A lot of people's hearts, they're with the enemy. Even while these so-called Christians. You got some Christians to where they know more about the NBA, the NFL, than they do even their own Bible. You got some Christians to where they don't even read their Bible. They don't even fast. They barely even spend time with God. They barely even pray. Some people can't even give God 2 minutes. And yet they talk about they Christian just because they went to church and got baptized when they're younger. You got people pushing this one saved, always saved doctrine. Where people think they, just because they got baptized one time, they could just not do nothing for God, not go all the way out for Him. They could just not fully seek Him. They can live life their way. They don't have to fast. They don't have to pray. But this is what happens when you got people preaching this one saved, always saved nonsense. Okay, it gets people the wrong doctrine. It makes people think just because they said God one time in their prayers that they're good for life. Just because they acknowledge God one time that they ain't got to do nothing for Him no more. They ain't got to seek Him no more. They good. They could go back to the world, and they're good because they got baptized one time. Just because they believed in Christ one time. Well, my thing is, even the demons believed. You think demons don't know that God is real? God was the one who created them. God kicked the fallen angels out of heaven. He kicked Satan out of heaven. They know God is real. So are they going to heaven too? Like, a lot of people, they just have to get their mind right, man. But you see, a lot of people, they'll continue being sheeps. You know why? Because a lot of people, they love this world too much. A lot of people, their mindset is all about this world. That's why so many people are scared to die. Because you got people in their 90s or 100s scared to die. Because all people think about is this pleasures of this world. They are not thinking about heaven. They're not thinking about eternity. A lot of people don't even believe that stuff exists. They think that stuff is a joke. And since a lot of people think it's a joke, they're going to end up finding out the wrong way in the end. That's why a lot of people nowadays, their minds are just gone because they have their mind focused in this world. When you have your mind focused, you put all your stock in this world, you'll have your mind gone. Because look, everything you have in this life is all going to be gone. Your house, your car, your job, your business, whatever you have, it's all going to be gone. Your clothes. You can't take that stuff to your grave. You can't take it to eternity. So a lot of people, they have their mind focused on stuff that's temporal. The only thing that lasts is your spiritual walk with God. That will last forever. But everything else in this world, the enemy, he just offers you a deal. He just dangles this stuff in your face. And guess what? The enemy, he dangles this stuff in your face, but guess what? It's up to you to take it or not. The enemy, he dangles this stuff in your face, but guess what? You're a grown adult. You have common sense. You know whether you could just put all your stock in this world to put it in God. But you see, a lot of people, they don't want to take the time to seek God. A lot of people, they're lazy. They're either lazy or because they don't want to fully go out for a kingdom of heaven. But they're not lazy going to a club. They're not lazy going to a party. They're not lazy finding the next weed or a next alcohol or a next cigarette to take. They're not lazy for that. They're not lazy running around trying to find fast food to eat. Fast food, that's not even good for you. And yet a lot of people eat this stuff daily. But you see, just because the enemy, he might have distracted a lot of people in society. But for real followers of Christ, we know his schemes. Ain't nothing wrong with watching a movie and all that. Don't get my message messed up. You can still have fun without sinning. You can still go out, go for a park, spend time with family. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Just have your heart in the right place. Always keep God first. That's what I'm saying. Do not make anything above God. Because the Bible says God will have no idols before him. Do not put anything before God. God comes first place in your life. But nevertheless, guys, keep your mind focused on God. Don't get caught up with all the distractions. Because, if you keep up with the news and all the celebrity stuff and all of some of these social media dramas and these social media beefs, you'll have your mind gone. You'll have your mind all in different places that's not supposed to be, and have your mind focused on stuff that don't even matter. Keep your mind focused on God. Because when you keep your mind focused on God, you never lose. You have your mind focused and have your mind in the right place, so you keep your mind focused on God and his kingdom. Because what you take in your mind is powerful. Your mind can have an effect, because your body doesn't move first without your mind. For example, somebody doesn't just walk out one day and just rob somebody. No, it has to first start in his mind and his heart. So keep your mind focused and keep your mind in the right place, because the enemy, he's attacking a lot of people's minds nowadays. The enemy knows if he could get your mind, he got you. That's why he's using so many distractions. That's why he uses all these different entertainers, all these different social media influencers, all these different people, even people in your job and your family, try to mess with your mind. But keep your mind focused on God, and you will always be in the right place. But nevertheless, guys, take care. Have a blessed day.